motion to come out of executive session? So moved. Do I have a second? Motion by Councilman Marvell, second by Councilwoman Gonzalez. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Councilwoman Luis Reyes. Yes. Councilman Brett Carrillo.
Yes.
Councilman Jason Gonzalez.
Yes.
Yes.
Next item is matters from village attorney. Will you just take, you don't have any matters?
No matters for me.
Thank
Thank you. See you
Next
folks
item is
soon.
without matters from administrator.
Safely. Thank you so much.
Mayor and Council, Ms. Herrera did do some research and made some contacts for the live walk, something like that. And this is what's going to go on the water bill that we're about in the month. To apply for water and wastewater assistance, that's the LIHWP, go to the Income Support Division website at hsb.state.nm.us. Their office in Taos is at 145 Roy Road, and she gives the phone number. The Village of Questa offices will be closed on February 20th, 2023, in observance of President's Day, and then she gives out information for a phone number if they have after-hours emergencies. And so she did do that research, and we will be working with these people if people do apply and get awarded assistance with their water and wastewater bills. I received a letter on January 18th from George Ayala. He's the regional director for EDA, and our grant to EDA for the business park is complete and it is closed. So they've accepted all of our paperwork, and they're happy that we worked together and got that project done.
Good job. Business work done.
We have a lease with House Bakes for the current building at the business park, and it expires on March the 16th. Mr. Farmer would like to renegotiate that lease, and he'd like to start the conversations now. We did pay $2,500 a month. So I was wondering if you would like to direct the mayor and I to work with them to, again, a temporary lease. The attorney suggested a month-to-month lease until we get their building completed, because then we'll have one new lease. We don't want to do a whole year and then they're in their new building with a lower rate. So the idea was when you get them their additional space that the lease would go up. So if you have thoughts on that, I'd like to have that.
With the construction, when did he say the construction date will start for La Cienega? Is that going to conflict with the Taos Bakes
No.
being in there?
No, they should, they should be able to keep to the property and they may have, they're not sure the same date going in and out, if I'm not mistaken, or we could probably.
I think what Taos County had talked about is
The one behind the building?
separating the entrances and closing the construction site for them and closing the older building that they're not going to renovate. So that it's completely separate from the rest of the property, because they have to close it anyway for the construction. So the property where the gym is will be, have its own fence there, they'll just section it off. So that they should each have their own gate, their own constructions.
Okay, so we're gonna be, Valerie's gonna be going out for procurement on the, well, for the engineering, that's probably gonna be CES, but the project should be going out for procurement in the near future. Hopefully we'll see the groundbreaking sometime in the late spring, summer on that.
We did get a quote for the replacement of that server for $35,425.52. We have an option of going to the cloud for $259.91 more. The server, it has a life of 5 to 7 years, and that's about where we are now with our current server. Going to the cloud, this would be a one-time cost, and then they would just, if we needed more space, then we have to pay for the more space on the cloud.
I found the cloud very confusing.
I know. We did look at putting our accounting system on the cloud, and that would cost us $8,580 more per year to have them host our accounting. One of the things with the cloud is the amount of space that our data uses, and so if we went to the separate with Questa, then they would take up care of all the backups, they would take care of all our data, we could access it from anywhere. If we had happened to be working at home, but it would cost an additional $750 a month to put the accounting alone in the cloud with them. The ambitions quote that they gave us for the cloud was $35,685.43, and that excluded the Questa. We'd have to add back in Questa because at the time they had given us a completely lower quote, and it was going to be great to go to the cloud because it was a lot cheaper. Well, they misquoted the first time, and this is a more accurate quote. Costs almost the same as a server, but it's a one-time cost as opposed to going to get a new server every 5 to 7 years. So I'm going to get some more information, and I will be bringing it to council for approval, whether we get another server or go with the cloud. That'll be coming up on the next council meeting. And my last thing is the next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. I don't know how your spouses or your significant others feel about you being here for that meeting instead of with them. So I didn't know if you wanted to change the date of that meeting, or what is the pleasure of the council?
How much, and I'll put it back on you too, how much stuff do you have for that meeting with the council? We need to have it. There is a lot of stuff we have to.
I only have 2 things right now on the agenda.
Do you have any financial stuff that we need?
I will not have it. The only thing is the cloud or the server issue. We already did have to replace one hard drive on the current server. It's being ordered and they're going to replace it because it's already going bad. And that's a sign that your server is dying. So we do need to either get a new server or go to the cloud. The cloud in Questa will take 6 to 8 weeks to move over, and it will take probably 8 to 12 weeks to move all the rest of our data to the cloud if we decide to do that. If we decide to do a server, then they will take, 2 to 4 weeks to build it and then come and migrate everything over from one server to the other. So it is kind of a pressing issue for that.
What date would you suggest? The week before, the day after?
We
Because
could,
you have municipal leave on the 16th and 17th.
right, we could do the 7th of February, which is the Tuesday before the Valentine's, and then we wouldn't have a meeting until the 28th.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So it'd still be like 2 weeks, but unless if we have any other issues for the legislative sessions or whatever that we could bring at that time.
Change it to the 7th. Are you okay with the 7th?
Yes.
Special meeting then, Ms. Sheila.
Special meeting on the 7th, and we'll cancel the one on the 14th.
We'll cancel the meeting. 7th.
And if you have any questions for me, I'm glad to answer.
No question.
No questions.
No questions.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to matters from
Mayor, I would like to just, I appreciate the updates from the chief and from the librarian as far as what's happening. Thank you, chief, appreciate that. It's always nice to see it on paper.
Mayor, I got a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
We're gonna be a while. Sorry. Okay, safe to say that skate park is pretty much dead.
No?
No?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, we just think of quality of life back for it, but. And we did ask for capital outlay on that, and we did any other grants or other, we can apply for whatever,
Okay.
or we can see, or get help.
Okay, so where I was going with that was, old skate park equipment, but, if that's not dead, then, well, the conversation I was gonna go with was that, Lower Foundation, they can help with the skate park. In the regards of old equipment and maybe help laying a slab, okay?
We just so happen to have a meeting with the War Foundation tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, good. Well, she didn't tell me. Not you, already. Okay, the community watch is taking a break until March because, with regards to crime in Questa, it's pretty much slowed down to a very good standstill. There are some people walking around, but those people that are walking around, they're not really causing much damage at all. I did witness and videotape, a drug deal in process today, but it was really small. Okay, the Community Watch and SAR, we're gonna collaborate, together for self-defensive, what do you call it, maneuvers? On the February the 4th, that's gonna be the basics for all. They're just gonna teach you basics on how to self-defend yourself. At the Sala, I don't know the address.
At the time, I would have 22.
It's at 23,
She didn't tell me a time.
it says at 23:38, 23:34, around there.
I'll get back with you on the time, I'm sorry. She did not give me a time, she's the one in charge of this. I'm kind of just going with her. Also, on February the 11th, the next week, they're gonna do a women's only class. Okay, same place. Okay, talking about cleaner streets, Mrs. Councilwoman Gonzalez. I'd like to start a beautification, committee for Questa. I believe, volunteerism needs to start, taking place here in the town of Questa. Depending on the water boys to do everything for us in regards to cutting weeds at the park, to cleaning up the town. As you know, last summer I did a lot of the weed cleaning there at the Economic Development Building and a couple other properties in Questa. So, how I'm gonna get this started, I don't know, but, I did join the Taos Tree Board to see what role they're taking in their town to try to, help with the beautification of their town. So, we'll see how this plays out.
Council, excuse me.
Go ahead.
We did have a constituent come in time back. She has small children, and she doesn't live in town. She lives in Sunshine, I think. And she brought her kids to the park, and she came over with a concern about cleaning up of the park. She said, if something happens and you guys are doing something, I'd be glad to help volunteer. And she would bring other people to help volunteer too. So we'll make sure that we get out the information for her too.
Good, thank you. I think I'm gonna mention her name now and now. So the folks that are involved at Questa Farmers Market has shown interest in helping out. Denise Lawrence from the 4-H clubs, her and her kids wanna help out. I think it's good, they have this on the resume. And Claire Cote from Sunshine. The property in the center of town owned by Joey Perovich. Have we in the past approached him to see if he wants to sell it?
Yes, we have many times.
Oh, he says we have a price on it?
To sell it.
No price on it, anyone? Dang.
I think it's not even him himself, I think it's,
It belongs to the wife.
it belongs to him and his brother.
Yeah, him and his brother.
And the brothers are the ones that don't, they
But
can't.
it never hurts to approach again because everything changes and maybe this will be a new approach and we can get told no again or maybe this time it's a charm.
I talked to him, last summer sometime about it, I think I talked to him with Questa, and actually was interested, so we can approach him again and see if
I
he
think
can.
he was willing to, but the brother was.
I think that's what something like that.
Okay. I don't think they got around this. Well, it seemed like it did when it
Yeah,
happened.
the Christmas tree.
And the Christmas tree is going to get picked up here soon. The goats have already finished all their trees at the house. And I'm done.
Did you get the decorations off of it?
I can go up with my ladder.
They're gonna help, I just don't know what day they're gonna come in.
Whenever, just let us know, me and Jake are ready.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to, there's access, they don't 3-4 months. We don't want.
And those decorations belong to the village? Okay. If I can get out there and do it, I can just extend my ladder and jump up there and pick them up. And that's it.
No, I don't have anything. I have a few things, and I'll try and make them fast, but I don't know if any of you noticed our water and sewer employees in the last 2 weeks, but we got their uniforms, they're now all have the same shirts, they all have the same pants, and they all have the same jackets. And they, so we're using a uniform service, their clothes get laundered, so they can send it off weekly to get laundered.
Oh.
And I'll tell you what, they appreciated that yesterday because they were working on that sewer plug and they were in a field full of sewage. And their clothes came back dirty and they were able to change and put it in the hamper to send off for laundry this week instead of having to take it home and launder it. And they still have enough uniforms to wear. And they're, I haven't seen all of them, but I understand they're pretty happy with their uniforms. Which I didn't know that they would be. So if you see them, they'll be looking sharp. Me and Shannon kind of talked, and we have some room to increase our JRT for our first responders, and that's, the county did a JRT increase for themselves, and now maybe it's time that we start talking about doing that in the near future. I don't know what the percentage we can go up to, but we have a percentage that we as governing body can decide that we want to increase on for first response. And that would go evenly split between EMS and police for the salaries. So just now on salaries, we gotta start thinking about COLA this year. The COLA this year is 8.7%. So, and I believe our staff is deserving of it. We just need to make sure when we think about water and sewer increases, we can't, and if we don't pass those, we can't do our 8.7% COLA increase. We can't afford it. With that, we probably wouldn't even be able to give them an increase at all without that water rate increase. And I'm telling you, we probably have the lowest paid water and sewer department in the state, or one of them. The projects we have, bi-weekly project meeting, myself, Ms. Vigil, Ms. Shannon, Mr. Lafayette. I don't remember last summer we had that 36 item list of projects. We're trying to continuously get those moving and off the books, and I think we're going to get a lot of them have already come off, and this summer we'll get a lot of the rest of what's on there. Maybe not all of what's on there, but a lot of it off of there. I forwarded you all an email from Robert Romero this morning on some of the legislation going on at the legislature. Take a look at that and anything that we would like for him to lobby on our behalf or lobby for or against. legislature, which is pretty good. One of the things that he did find out, he met with municipal league last week, all the lobbyists did, and
Oh, good.
there's a Senate Bill 104 that is being proposed for the airports, and our airport would receive $722,000 in a one-time funding if that bill passes.
Nice.
That would be good. So that's something we're hoping he'll help us with. Want to move forward with the annexation of, and I want to talk, now that Mr. DeFilippo was here, but we can start moving forward with the annexation of the village property at the airport, so I'd like to see that done for we're going to be on time for February 7th, but February 28th.
I'll look.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think I've talked to Ms. Shannon about is Molly Portfield, now that Chevron put that $90,000 in kind into fixing it. And I talked to Mr. Hill last week, they hadn't put the barricades back on, so people were still driving into the field and even onto their portion of the property, and they didn't realize that they hadn't barricaded the whole portion of the property. So they did that, and one of the things I asked Ms. Shannon, and I don't know what the rest of you think, because it would be an expense, but maybe if we run internet out there and maybe put up some cameras to deter them destroying that property again. Sorry, it might be an expense, but maybe we can look into it and see if that would work.
I think that's a great idea.
Even if we, I don't know, maybe we can see what options there are that we don't have to run everything out there and we just have cameras there. Because we can run cameras without having them. Maybe just having them record, and if there's something.
We don't have a gate out there yet? There?
There is a gate at the front of the property, but it's on Chevron property, number one, and number two, I don't think Mr. Robinson wants to have to get off every time he goes in and out to open and close the gate.
Oh, yeah, we need to keep that, so.
The last thing I'm gonna bring up is, since you brought it up, Counselor, since you brought it up, Counselor, first, I'd like to have a cleanup day again, now in March. Now in springtime, so we can maybe look at, see if we have any money for the tipping fees for the dumpsters and, I agree with you, we need a beautification committee. In fact, I've been wanting to bring that out to you to see how we start getting that going, so we can, beautify the community, volunteerism, and we can work on the parks. We're expecting a new, tax or some new tax revenue to start coming into the village in the near future. And that might be going towards, that's something we could consider putting towards the park. And that new business already has his, business license to operate within the village.
Did you finally get apply?
Oh, yeah, the one,
I spoke with her 2 weeks ago. He was iffy about it.
so, any, yeah. Anything else, councilors? Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you, staff. Thank you, chief. Thank you, Ms. Shannon. Thank you, Ms. Hill. Thank you, Dylan, for covering our meetings and covering us.
Mayor Council, one more thing that I failed to update you on. The guys worked all day yesterday on that circle, and they had to work on it again today. John came in at 3 o'clock this afternoon and said they finally got it.
Oh, good.
They will be watching it for a while because that keeps happening. In the summer, they're probably going to have to dig that up. He thinks that there's a rock in there, and it's a pipe within a pipe, and things are getting messed up there. So they're probably going to have to dig it up and replace the pipe in there.
Where's it at? It's,
Down Gristmill Road.
yeah, kind of, do you know where? The Martinez's own property back there, it's kind of between the Martinez's and, I think the other property was Samuel Gonzalez.
It's behind his property.
It was,
Just, I don't know if they still have it, check with the town of Red Works, they have a camera for their sewer system.
Yes.
Instead of assuming it's wrong, just borrow their camera system and probably, Mr. Sistanis could come and do that for us.
He did talk about getting a camera when it's warmer weather. It was freezing yesterday. And they were out there all day. They were 3 guys. They had 1 guy out. And today all 4 of them were there and they worked on it, but they'll be checking on it often, he said, so that it doesn't happen again. So sorry I didn't update you on that today.
Oh, it's 7:59, right under 2 hours, officers.
So like a school board meeting.
Nah, no, they'd be there for, they could barely begin started.
You're nothing like the school board.